Did Trump make a post about Epstein like 20 minutes ago on Truth Social? Yes. What's going on with my boys, and in some cases, gals? They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job. Did he know I was doing this segment right now? So, Epstein, you heard about him? Not a great guy. Not from what I've heard, no. Never met him myself, unlike basically half the people in government, it seems. Obviously, the Trump administration is covering up the Epstein files. If they had them to begin with, they might be locked under Fort Knox for all we know, but the Trump administration has either decided or been told to drop it because the whole point of Epstein was that it implicates a bunch of powerful people. You don't want to do that, right? Like, it's nice to conspiracy bait and win office because of it, but it doesn't actually work in the long run, especially because the president was, you know, the main Epstein guy. So I'm interested in seeing how the Democrats tackle this. Older Democrats, you know, like Schumer or Pelosi or whatever, people who are friends with Bill Clinton, they will never really lean on this, you know? They won't after Clinton dies either. They're fully aware of how many people are implicated by Epstein. I do think it's really funny that Israel's dog, Richie Torres, is taking the same tone, which probably doesn't help with the people who think that Epstein was an agent of Mossad.
Can we be clear that the Epstein controversy is a distraction of Donald Trump's own making? That he was fanning the flames of the Epstein conspiracy theory during the campaign, and so now he's essentially an arsonist pretending to be a firefighter. And there was no need for an investigation. The medical examiner had investigated the matter and found that Epstein died by suicide.
There was no need for an investigation into Epstein's death.
The same conclusions were drawn by the Bureau of Federal Prisons. There was no need for a new investigation unless the purpose was to legitimize a conspiracy theory.
Now, obviously, this is funny. It's funny how compromised he is because it makes no political sense, right? Why on earth would you ever say not just that you don't believe in the conspiracies, but that it's actually Trumpian to be curious about Epstein associations when Trump is the most Epstein-associated guy? Oh, Thralix8, that's a good point. Trump himself did not fan the flames of Epstein conspiracy. That's an excellent point, yeah. Everyone he brought on board into his administration did, right? Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, they did, right? But Trump didn't, because the only times he's spoken up about Epstein is to, like, either get people to move on from the topic or to say, like, oh, what a great guy. Kind of. You know, he did consider pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell, but apparently didn't because he was worried about what she would say. Like, that's on the record, that's known. He essentially said, what does she know? Imagine what she could tell people. That's known, that's a fact. Robert Maxwell was Mossad, that is true. Anyway, Richie Torres, of course, I assume there are connections here, which is the only reason why he would take that position. What about some others? John Ossoff, what are you saying? No, not there. Is this the one where John Ossoff talks about Epstein? Ah, it looks like he's talking about Medicaid. Yes, he also said he wishes Ghislaine Maxwell well. You should check for updates on that pardoning because he's supposedly reconsidering it.
Promised to end the wars. He promised to release the Epstein files.
Oh, people really seem to like that one. It's almost as though mentioning Epstein is actually a really good and politically viable tactic for the Democrats, and the fact that a lot of them, like Richie Torres, are either don't want to or are oppositional to it is really suspicious.
Did anyone really think the sexual predator president who used to party with Jeffrey Epstein was going to release the Epstein files?
Like, it's the easiest and most obvious rhetoric in the world. Like, your convicted sexual criminal president was best friends with the king of pedophiles. The fact that Democrats don't go after, like, Ossoff does not have any of these deep state establishment connections the way Schumer does or Richie Torres does that would pressure him to not make statements like this. AOC called Trump a rapist and said, of course, he wouldn't release the Epstein files. This, to me, is actually a really big line because not going hard on the Epstein question with Trump means one of two things. Well, it means one of three things. Either you are so hilariously politically incompetent that you value civility over easy dunks. Why? Two, you either are compromised by Epstein or know people who are. Or three, you're a dog of Israel. because, of course, Israel and Mossad are tied up in Epstein. Though I don't believe that he was a Mossad agent. That's to me is a step too far. I think it's far more likely that Epstein had connections with Mossad, the FBI, and other intelligence agencies. I mean, people from all around the world met with Epstein, right? Mossad cooperator, sure, but not agent. Yeah, because then he's also a cooperator with the FBI and so on. Of course, that was his job, right? Bernie hasn't said anything about the Epstein stuff. No, but I think that's just more in line with him being an ancient kind of civility-pilled, focused on the economic issues. It would kind of feel like out of touch from him, not out of touch, I should say, but like a little like weird from him to talk about the Epstein stuff. I think he should. I'm just saying it doesn't really gel with the brand. Bernie doesn't have any deep state ties with Epstein. He's been a maverick independent for longer than we've been alive. Yeah, out of character, out of character. They like it. They like it. They like it a lot. They like it very, very much. God, I still remember Chomsky being on the Epstein lists. Yeah, I mean, Epstein made an effort to meet with, like, everyone. Like, lots and lots and lots of people. I think, didn't Chomsky say he met with Epstein to secure funding and, like, kept his lips tight about the nature of their meeting? Chomsky was very defensive about it. I think it's more likely that Chomsky himself kind of enjoyed getting to schmooze with powerful people because it does bolster his legitimacy as, you know, one of the most well-known academics in history. He probably liked those connections to power. As whether he went over to like engage in the pedophile island shit, I don't know necessarily. It wasn't all that, you know. The sex trafficking was just one of the things Epstein did to power broke, you know. Interesting. It looks like multiple people over at the Turning Point USA conference have been attacking Pam Bondi over how she's handled the Epstein information or lack thereof.
Good afternoon, Tampa. For those of you who might not know who I am, my name is Congresswoman Ana Paulina Luna, and I have the joy, thank you, I have the joy.
She's a freak.
Privilege of representing Florida's 13th congressional district in multiple high schools, one of which there was a gang shooting on campus. A female Hispanic veteran granddaughter one day before it's supposed to go to medical school. If you're Hispanic, we are supposed to embrace open borders. They want us to pretend love in these mostly peaceful riots, but I'm doing it because it's the right thing to do. Because right now we need young leaders who will speak the truth, sometimes calling out our own party. If we don't have your voice, we will lose this country, and you're seeing that with some of the elections taking place around this country. Now, everyone says every election is truly important, but when you see them electing open communists, right up here, find a microphone, and we'll go from there.
Why does she bring up the Epstein stuff?
Unborn life and what we need to be.
Much of a beautiful thing it can be for actually families that came back over here. Works is this administration has done an incredibly amazing thing in deporting actually.
A good friend of yours, Steve Bannon, who I'm also a huge fan of, did an interview with Jeffrey Epstein in 2019, and he recorded almost 15 hours of footage interviewing Jeffrey Epstein. There has never been an interview with Jeffrey Epstein publicly released, except some of the depositions and whatnot. Would you ask Steve Bannon to release this footage now? Because I think it's very relevant and might give us some insight into what Jeffrey Epstein's motivations are and whatnot.
Well, I think you just asked him for us, right? That's actually the first time I'm hearing of that, but yeah, I'd be very interested.
Wait, did Trump make a post about Epstein like 20 minutes ago on Truth Social? Yes? What's going on with my boys, and in some cases, gals? They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job. Did he know I was doing this segment right now? Hello, Mr. President. Please don't deport me. We're on one team, MAGA, and I don't like what's happening. This might be the clearest acknowledgement of internal weakness I've ever seen from Trump in the presidency. Normally, he just condemns one person and they get kicked out. This is like, I don't like the tone we've been taking. This is, yeah, he doesn't have control over the narrative here. We have a perfect administration, the talk of the world, and selfish people are trying to hurt it, all over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. For years, it's Epstein over and over again. Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration who conned the world? He definitely wrote this one himself. This is not one of those ones where like an aide got to his phone first. Who conned the world with the Russia hoax, 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, and more. They created the Epstein files, just like they created the fake Hillary Clinton, Christopher Steele dossier that they used on me. And now my so-called friends are playing right into their hands. Oh, wait, this is like, it's all a joke, but this is actually like really bad. This is like a massive indication of weakness from him, like more so than I can ever think of. This isn't going to help at all. Why didn't these radical left lunatics release the Epstein files? If there was anything in there that could have hurt the MAGA movement, why didn't they use it? They haven't even given up on the John F. Kennedy or Martin Luther King Jr. files. No matter how much success we have had securing the border, deporting criminals, fixing the economy, energy dominance, a safer world where Iran will not have nuclear weapons, it's never enough for some people. Oh my God, he's like actually angry. Holy shit. We are about to achieve more in 6 months than any other administration has achieved in over 100 years, and we have so much more to do. We are saving our country and making America great again, which will continue to be our complete priority. The left is imploding. Kash Patel and the FBI must be focused on investigating voter fraud, political corruption, Act Blue, the rigged and stolen election of 2020, and arresting thugs and criminals, instead of spending month after month looking at nothing but the same old radical left-inspired documents on Jeffrey Epstein. What do they call it? The Streisand effect? Oh my God, dude. Let Pam Bondi do her job. She's great. The 2020 election was rigged and stolen, and they tried to do the same thing in 2024. That's what she's looking to do as AG and much more. 1 year ago, our country was dead. Now it's the hottest country anywhere in the world. Let's keep it that way and not waste time and energy on Jeffrey Epstein, something nobody cares about. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Any Democrat that is not like pouring coal into this fire is, as far as I'm concerned, Jeffrey Epstein's second best friend. Listen, dude, here you go. Who could have guessed that Trump being close friends with the king of pedophilia is actually like a really, really, really easy attack on him? That Trump obviously hates the fact that this conspiracism has inflamed to a point where it's now compromising his administration. Holy shit. Seriously, there are no MAGA influencers that are going to see this and respond positively to it. They're going to get raked over the coals. This is the most deep... he's throwing himself under the bus here. He's literally screaming, please stop talking about Jeffrey Epstein. It was all made up. The radical left made it up. It's not real. Stop. Holy shit. No, literally nobody's buying this. Do you think they'll take this down from? No. The damage is done. Him calling the obsession with Epstein radical left is a massive gift to us. Seriously. Radical left inspired documents on Jeffrey Epstein. Hey, everyone who doesn't like Jeffrey Epstein, welcome to the resistance. Oh my God. I'm actually going to have to call the segment Trump crashes out over Jeffrey Epstein. It's not even inaccurate. I think he's making the same mistake Contra made. He is. It's the same thing. It's literally the same thing. Oh my God. Yeah, if he paid more attention to my channel, he would have seen my response to that drama, and maybe he could have avoided this pitfall. I don't really know what to say. This is huge. I can't think of any comparable tone from, like, normally Trump is on the attack, or he's self-aggrandizing. He says, well, I'm great, we're doing great. He does that here too, of course. The tone overwhelmingly here is, holy shit, please move on, please stop fighting, which, it's like, it's scared. Yeah, no, Miss Genderlyn, for sure, it's scared. Trump was caught Contra posting. He's terrified of something getting out. No, I don't think that's true. Maybe with Ghislaine Maxwell, I think he's aware of the fact that the evidence has been sealed away and isn't really accessible. What I think he's annoyed by is the fact that for all of his life, Trump has been raping people, children, you know, and it's never really mattered, because when you're a business tycoon in New York City and your friends are all politicians, it doesn't matter because everyone does that. He was friends with Bill Clinton, man. He got along fine with the Democrats and the Republicans. He was like, everyone schmoozed, everyone knew Epstein, nobody cared. It didn't get in the way of your business dealings. It was all like, yeah, what happens on Little St. James stays in Little St. James. And he's frustrated that now, when he's the president, at 80 years old, now, when Epstein's been dead for 6 years, now all of a sudden, because of the behavior of his underlings, the conspiracy podcasters that he hired to be part of his cabinet, now it's inflamed in a way that it hadn't back during his first term. Clinton, a consenting adult, not children. No, he's done both. He was also close friends with Epstein. Yeah, he's essentially saying, why do you care now? Like, it's been behind him for decades. Okay, this has been behind him for decades, and he's essentially like, well, what the why is this an issue now? Of course he can't say that, so instead he'll be like, you know, this obsession now is the radical left, we have to stop fighting with each other. I don't know. That's crazy. Whoever linked this, thank you. Who linked this? That happened, I was mid-segment when that was truthed. What's sad is that MAGA might never see the side. Listen, I think this might actually be a bit of a breaking point for them. Megyn Kelly got a big crowd to essentially boo the Trump administration for Pam Bondi's handling of the Epstein files. Like, Trump would not be reacting this way if there was not a genuine threat.
Hello, Tampa. Love you.
Point. And let me add
to
that
it, guy.
Which is that she also brought in some of our best influencers, people that I care about deeply. Jack Posobiec, who's incredible.
Oh, yeah. Okay, no, never mind. I thought I still had the clip. I still had the clip from her. No, I don't. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't think they're going to let this go. It's just too obvious. It's too much, okay? There is no rhetorical trick that you can play to get a person to go from the deep state is full of pedophiles that are and they're manipulating the government to Jeffrey Epstein did nothing wrong. That is just too much of a jump for most MAGA. And listen, I have a shockingly low opinion of these people, okay? More so than I let on stream. The average Trump supporter, genuinely, like, I cannot overstate the extent to which I don't believe in their ability to put two and two together. But for this specifically, it only needs to be enough for a few percentage points of the supporter base. It doesn't need to be 100%. It doesn't need to be 50. 5% of Trump's base getting disillusioned by this is a massive blow. Also, a big thing that helps is that a huge amount of Trump support in the modern day doesn't just come from idiot rural folk, you know, the peasantry, but it also comes from, like, right-wing incel podcast bros, and those people can never go pro-Epstein. The Gen Z men, Trump supporters, the guys from that podcast that we saw, the handsome man with the mustache, you know, where people who watch Joe Rogan, they can't turn around on this. It's just bad content. I think that's it. At the end of the day, Trump has won consistently because he makes good content. Really, I genuinely think that's it. He can turn a story, he makes himself interesting to follow. That's it. You know, it's just good content. Democrats are terrible content. And somebody saying the Epstein files are fake, we should move on, is terrible content. There is no good content version of that. There is no good content version of that. Steve Bannon's anticipating losing a bunch of Republican seats over this Epstein business. The Epstein business on its own could end up costing the GOP not just 40 House seats, but the Senate as well, if Democrats have the balls to run on it. Seriously, if Democrats are willing to plant their feet in the sand and say, no, actually, we aren't going to keep ignoring that you're friends with the king of pedophiles. We're actually, like, miffed about this, and keep bringing it up. Also, look at how emotionally vulnerable Trump is. This is something that he actually gets mad about. Like, he would only tweet this if he was personally reacting to the way people are responding to Pam Bondi. Like, he is witnessing the infighting, and he is upset over it. He's seeing segments on Fox. He's seeing shit on OAN or Newsmax or whatever. He is personally upset. Do you think this is the most upset he can get? What if he got more upset? He could say more damaging shit, more stuff that compromises him. Oh, please, Democrats, don't let this one go. Don't let this one go. You have to lean in. John Ossoff, tie me to a missile and fire me at whomsoever you choose, okay? I need more Democrats to adopt this energy.
President Trump promised to end the wars. He promised to release the Epstein files. Did anyone really think the sexual predator president who used to party with Jeffrey Epstein was going to release the Epstein files?
A tweet from Cat Turd, which is just a screenshot of Trump's Truth Social post that we just looked through. 1.4K likes, 834 comments. Nobody likes this, man. Nobody likes this. We can win. We can take the country back, okay? Fascism is self-defeating. This was always going to be an issue for them, okay? You just need to seize the moment. If the person you're fencing trips, it only matters if you don't let them get back up. Like, you have to take advantage of the moment. If they stumble and you just go, ooh, then it didn't matter. Don't let them catch their breath. There are literally tens of millions of Republicans for whom this is an animating issue. I've made my point. I don't know. We're going to keep talking about it. We're going to keep talking about it.